Okay, so welcome everyone today for our information session on the Mentoring for Effective Nature Conservation program from EuroNatur with support by the Human Edge, our partner. My name is Leonie Kraut. I am head of HR and administration at EuroNatur, and I am coordinating this program since, it's now 4 years. So it's the fourth cohort that we're now doing and planning. And I am supported by my colleague Nadia Musa. She will also present herself briefly afterwards when she is doing her part of the presentation. So thank you all for joining us today. I hope we can clarify some questions on mentoring and on our mentoring program. So to start, I just wanted to tell you a bit about why are we here? Where did it all start? The mentoring program. So establishing a strong and effective network of organizations working for nature conservation is one of the legacies of MAVA Foundation, which was a big also financial support for EuroNatur and its partner organizations. But MAVA also supported us in organizational development. They founded the Leaders for Nature Academy, where several junior and senior leaders of us and our partner organizations benefited a lot from leadership development and personal growth. And one important pillar in this program was the mentoring. So after MAVA Foundation closed, we thought we want to continue with the mentoring to support the network, to make it even stronger. And so together with the Human Edge, which was for the former Mowgli mentoring, we created our own mentoring program, for our partners and us to gain even more growth from this pillar. So we've done 3 cohorts up to now. I don't have the participants in mind, but I think it's around 70 mentors and mentees that we've provided the opportunity to grow in this program, and we're looking forward to the 4th cohort now to start with the training sessions in January. Yeah, what are the objectives of our program? So, of course, it's about growth. I already said this word a lot of times. So it's about growth and self-development of staff members of nature conservation organizations. So it's focused on the sector of nature conservation, but we don't exclude other sectors. So it's open for other civil society organizations as well. In addition, of course, it's meant to increase the satisfaction of the participants with their own work and to stimulate their motivation. Thus also increasing staff retention, impact, and growth opportunities. And an additional welcomed effect of the program is that it should maintain and strengthen our network, the nature conservation sector. As mentoring, we see that it helps to increase trust among people and organizations, and therefore strengthens collaboration. Just a few words about EuroNatur for those who don't know us. We are a nature conservation organization. We are based in Germany, in the south of Germany, and we do a lot of cross-border projects. It's always large-scale, natural, sometimes also for valuable cultural landscapes. We try to protect wildlife, but also work with the people, with locals. So our motto is connecting nature and people. We always work together with local partners We have a focus on Southeastern Europe, especially the Balkans, but we are active in the whole of Europe as well. And also a few words about our partner, the Human Edge. The Human Edge designs and delivers human-centered learning and development initiatives and programs. They draw on their mentoring and coaching expertise and equip people with the tools, approaches, skills to overcome their own challenges, to build stronger relationships, to steer organizations forward and achieve greater impact, and at best faster. So what is mentoring? For us, it's always important that we and the participants of our program have the same understanding of mentoring. We have seen different approaches of mentoring, for example, when being mentored at school or at university or in I don't know, enterprises. So it's sometimes a different approach on mentoring that we have. So for us, it's important for you to understand what we see. So for us, it's always a 360-degree relationship. So it includes every part of what we do. It's it's focused on the empowerment of the mentee's core. So it's about growth, about leadership and behaviors. And the mentor is the one who challenges and supports the mentee to enhance his or her confidence, motivation, and build resilience. So it's the mentee who comes up with topics, with challenges, with goals they want to talk about, they want to focus on, and the mentor is the one supporting them. So the mentor receives no payment, it's purely voluntary, the work. It's always relationship oriented. So there is a need of a trust basis, and sometimes it's even a peer-to-peer relationship. So it develops into a kind of relationship because it's also always a two-way value flow. There is not only the mentee profiting from this relationship and learning and growing, but it's also the mentor who is growing, who is developing skills in leadership, who is getting new insights and perspectives from most often a younger person, but this is no need. So sometimes the mentee could even be older than the mentor. So it's always on what is important for the individual in this relationship. So I also want to share this table with you, where you can see the differences between mentoring and other techniques, so counseling, coaching, consulting, and training. So when you have a look at the value that is added with mentoring, it's a guiding, inspiring, empowering, sharing of perspectives and experience. So you can see that it's the value that is with all the other approaches. So parts of the coaching with the structured questioning and listening are also important in mentoring. Sometimes you also make sense of the past. What happened and why did it happen? And how can I profit from this knowledge of the past to make it better, to develop myself, to grow? So it's a part of everything. Could also even be expertise, like in consulting, that the mentor is offering insights of expertise, but this is not a focus on the mentoring. In our mentoring, it's about personal development and not about expertise and specific skills. This is up to the mentee, that when the mentee likes to develop specific skills, it's not in the mentoring that the skills are developed, but you can work on specific approaches how to develop your expertise and skills by the help of the mentor, for example. Yeah, and you also see with the lead, in the other parts, it's the trainer, the consultant, the coach, the counselor who leads in the relationship. But in mentoring, it's not the mentor who leads. It's the mentee who's in charge of the relationship. So the mentee is the one coming up with topics. The mentee is also the one finding solutions to the challenges. It's not the mentor telling the mentee what to do, but a mentor is the one supporting the mentee to find out their own ways, their own solutions, and their own goals, and how to achieve them. This is really important. Yeah, and as you also see, the mentoring is a more informal way. It's not paid, it's not professional, but it's, as I already said, it's a voluntary and also could be a peer-to-peer relationship and develop in a friendship partly. And sometimes mentor and mentees even switch their roles. So the mentors are the ones learning from the mentees as well. Yeah, so the mentoring always focus a lot more also on the why. Why am I doing this? Of course, also who am I? Who do I want to be? How do I want to approach certain things? But why am I doing this? And yeah, to strengthen your own self. Yeah, so I think now is the time for hard facts, right? Time commitment. And I give over to Nadia for the time commitment. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Nadia Musa. I'm a project admin with EuroNatur, and I'm also involved in the mentoring program. Leonie, can you scroll down a bit because we only see the time commitment? Thank you. So there's generally the start is basically now. So the mentoring, the MENC 4 cohort is starting now, but it's only the application phase, which ends on 16th of November at midnight. So you still have time if you want to think about it. And then there will be more time for Leonie and myself to go through the applications. There will be interviews, short-term interviews, about 20 minutes, which with each person separately. So we will basically just ask about what your specific or what their specific goals are, what they are looking forward to gain from the program, what their understanding of mentoring is, what our understanding of mentoring is, and how we can align that. Then there's generally there's an online foundation module, which is called What is Mentoring? We expect everyone to read that before the actual program starts. Then there will be 6 online training modules. I have to say that the whole program is basically online. I mean, it's up to the individual to meet in person, but this is not part of the program, so everyone would have to do that on an individual level. So the actual training starts in January and in February. For mentors, there will be 6 online sessions, which are mandatory, all of them around 2 hours. And there are different information you receive there. We will get to that later. Then there are also 2 separate mentee preparation programs, separately from the mentors, also in January and in February. And then there will be a relation building workshop, also 2 hours in February after the mentee and the mentor training. This is the first time where all mentors and mentees come together as one group. So you all get to see each other and see who is on the programs, and you will have the chance to, or the idea is that you have the chance to meet everyone, which is why it's mandatory as well to join that program. Just to give everyone the idea who is on and to understand what it actually is to be mentored. And then there's a Getting Started workshop, which is in March, again 2 hours. And the idea there is that the matched couples actually start working together. Then later there will be a refresher session, because we don't want you hanging in the air if there are any problems, or just to get back to base and start fresh again. So that will be in May, I believe. And then there are regular meetings between mentors and mentees only. So this is the next step, the next phase in the program. You have the training where you're all together. Then you have the peer-to-peer calls, mentor plus mentee, which is only the 2 people. Then there will be peer calls for mentors and another peer call for mentees end of June, just to get everyone back together, give them the chance to exchange with one another, maybe exchange about their experience, ask questions if they feel stuck or whatever. And then there's a final meeting in early October. We just had ours from MENC 3, which was lovely. And this is basically the moment where we all say goodbye. But it's also the moment, I've been on this program for 2 years now, and both times it's been a wonderful time where everyone just shared their actual, the information that they actually at that time really has the feeling that they have accomplished something, because sometimes it might feel stuck, but when you look back 9 months back into your life, then you actually realize what happened, which is lovely. Okay, so generally we try to make this program as cost-free as possible, but as we are now the only ones who are actually working on the program, and we basically pay it from our own funds. We ask for a small compensation of administrative expenses of 200 euros. There is, however, an exemption from costs, and these costs should be paid by your employers. If they don't pay it, you, of course, may pay it for yourself. But again, if that is not possible for whatever reason, we can talk about it. So this is not a reason to keep you or to not keep you in the program. Right, so the next one would be the information about the mentor training. We have altogether, as I already said, there are 6 modules. The first one would be understanding mentoring and relationships. What is mentoring in general? What are relationships? How can both of them be combined? The second one would be practicing mentoring and giving feedback. Because as a mentor, as Leonie has already said, the mentor is usually the one who is a bit more in the background, and the mentee is the one who is actually the force in the relationship. So giving feedback might sound easily, but it not always is the same for everyone, and it depends on the situation you're in and on the person who is in front of you. So that is something that will be practiced, as well as listening and asking effective questions, because Leonie has already said that listening is very important in the mentoring relationship for both mentor and mentee, but more so for the mentor. And to actually help the mentee to grow, it's important to ask questions, because advice is something that we usually refrain from. It is possible to give advice, but we usually, in the mentoring relationship, we usually ask effective questions to let the mentee get to their own answer. So module 4, sorry, module 4 would be practicing mentoring and new tools. So you will be learning tools, how to engage with your mentee, or the mentor will learn how to engage with the mentee. What possibilities are there next to the other 3 modules we already had. Then there's module 5, exploring the mentor toolkit. This gives you an idea that there's a lot to be done in mentoring, And you don't have to use, as a mentor, you don't have to use everything. It depends on your mentee, on the needs of your mentee, on yourself. But there's a huge toolkit to take from. And this is just one way to give you, to basically teach you what you could do or what you could use during your relationship. And then the last module before meeting the mentees would be setting up the mentoring relationship for success. What do you actually do as a mentor to really, basically just to round up what you've learned as a mentor before that, or what the mentor has learned before that 6 session. And then it's basically getting started with a mentee. So the idea is to this training is for mentors. So if there's anyone who is still thinking about being a mentor or a mentee, because there's also the opportunity to apply as open for both. And we will decide then after the interviews we had with each of you, if you want to apply, if you haven't already, what you want to do. So the mentors basically get the training to be a mentor, if especially important for those who never had any training in mentoring. And the mentees only have 2 sessions, because the whole relationship of 9 months is basically used as a training for the mentee. Yeah, and then the next one would be the mentoring journey. And we always use this little map. You basically start at 1. You are in your ordinary world, and the ordinary world is basically your everyday life. Then you suddenly feel the need to change something, no matter what it is, and you're a bit confused. And then there are 2 options. Either you refuse the call and then you go back to your ordinary world with all your questions and your problems that may have arisen, and then you're stuck or not, or you basically answer the call, and then you are meeting the mentor. And during this journey, there are different ways, because you're crossing the line of where you are now, and you step into a new world with someone else. And of course, there will be trials. I mean, it now says allies and enemies, but I don't think that anyone actually has an enemy, a real lifetime enemy. But an enemy can be something like, I block myself from getting promoted. I block myself from doing the job that I actually want to have. I block myself from whatever, my dream or whatever it is. So it's basically, it's those inner trials sometimes that you can overcome just by talking to someone else. And it's those obstacles in life that can be faced with someone else who just listens to someone. So this is the idea, mentoring, helping us to be better, to actually be at our best at the time when we're done with the program, or later, or before that. And then there will of course be times when because not everything is always running smooth. We don't promise that there won't be bumps in the road even during the mentoring relationship, but there will be times when you actually have to face your own, let's call them demons or enemies, the ones that actually hold you back. So you have to address them, you have to face them, and you have to start a journey towards a new perspective. And this journey towards the new perspective is part of the mentoring relationship. So mentoring can be really helpful, but you have to be open to it. And of course, you don't have to tell your mentor and the mentor as a mentee, or the mentor towards the mentee, anything about your personal things, anything that holds you back, because it's a trusted relationship, and you don't have to go or dive into topics that you don't want to address, right? So this is very important. And right, so next step would be, who is actually supposed to join, or who can join, who may join. And we generally are open for everyone working in nature conservation from Europe and the Mediterranean basin, because as Leonie has already said, we are basically working in Europe, and we want to strengthen, we have to start somewhere, and we want to strengthen this region to actually be stronger in their work. But we also consider other applications, but that depends on how many applications there actually are, and who actually applies as well. So generally for generally, what do you need to be? What do you have to bring to the program to be eligible? So for, we've already mentioned that, Leonie and I, for interested mentors and mentees, it's valuable that you're both open-minded, right? I mean, this goes without saying, but you're meeting someone you usually don't know. And and you are meeting someone who, because everyone has problems, everyone has something that goes on in their minds, but you have to be open-minded in order to help them. So there's biases don't work, especially in this program, but they don't work anywhere else either. So you have to be ready to learn as well, because learning, mentoring basically is a learning journey for both the mentor and the mentee. And of course, you have to be committed to nature conservation. If you can't stand trees or fungi or ants or whatever, this program is definitely not for you. Yeah, and especially as a mentee, but also as a mentor, you should have been employed with your organization for at least 1 year. If that 1 year only starts in January, you're fine. If you're only 7 months in, we can talk about it. This is not a straight no-no. So for mentors, also, it's very important that you have at least 7 years of work experience, because you're coming as a mentor, so you should, so that you're basically sharing your experience, so there should be experience you can work with, right? So we said 7 years at least. So you also should have good communication skills, because you're the one who's giving feedback. So if you can't communicate feedback, it's difficult. But that's why we have those 6 training sessions. And because, as Leonie has already said, the mentee is the one who's actually doing most of the talking, you should be able to listen, because listening is important. But that too is something that can be learned. And you should be able to show a real interest in your mentee, or the mentor should be able to show a real interest in their mentee and their development, because it's a two-way thing, you know, because the one who is being talked to can sense that the mentor actually doesn't listen, and then the whole relationship doesn't work. Right. So I give over to Leonie again. Have I lost something? No, that's, I already said that. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nadia. Just a second for the next slide. Yeah, now it's coming up. Next steps. Yeah, what are the next steps for you? You should really apply until November 16th by midnight. So we are very open for your applications. Looking forward to it. I am also especially looking forward to the application interviews and November and beginning of December. This is one of my favorite phases of the program, getting to know new people. I really love to do these interviews and see what great people are working in nature conservation, how motivated they are and committed to their work. I really like doing the interviews. Nadia and me, we will both do interviews in November, beginning of December. Then for the mentors, as Nadia already said, The training will be in January and February, as well as for the mentees. Also really important, the relationship building workshop, where you will get to know everyone. So mentors and mentees will meet for the first time, and also will have the chance to give feedback afterwards if there is someone in the group that they really don't want to be matched with. So you also have the chance to give feedback if there is a red flag concerning mentors or mentees. For example, if it's if the organizations are working too closely together, for example, and you don't really feel comfortable with opening up to, I don't know, the CEO of your partner organization. Just an example. So there is the possibility for you also to give feedback before the matching, and then we will do a bit of magic, and which is not only magic but parts of it. We will do the matching, which is a lot about we need to get to know you as good as possible before the matching. So of course, we have some hard facts. What are your goals? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to learn in the program? Where do you come from? But for the matching, it's really important to see how the individuals are, how their character is, and how they might interact with each other. This is really important for us. Up to now, I think it's always been great with the matching. So we have never had a matching where we needed to intervene afterwards, but also there is an option. If you are not satisfied with the matching, we are always there to talk about everything. And then you're getting started with your mentor, your mentee, beginning of March in your relationships. So book the dates in your calendars, apply, and contact us for any questions. You'll find more information again on the website, and also the application link. I think the last words are up to our participants. This is the second most important phase for me of the program. So the first one, meeting all these great people for the first time, and the second one after the ending of the program, hearing their voices on their developments, also seeing how they changed, hearing the feedback on the relationships between mentors and mentees that have really grown deep. And this is also a highlight for me afterwards, hearing from them. Yeah, so I think this is it from the official side. Oh, did I forget to forward? Oh, I'm sorry for this. So another minute for the voices from previous cohorts. You haven't seen them. Yeah, this is really great. You can also find testimonials on our website, even articles from our communications department on the program, where our participants have a say and give feedback on the program. So I really recommend having a look at the testimonials on our website as well. So we hope to see you soon, see your application soon, meet you soon in person, online. Unfortunately, it's just online, our program, but we have been given the feedback that it feels like we know each other quite well, even if it's all online. So the relations get really deep. Even if they meet only on the screen, and some even manage to meet in person, which is also great. Yeah, so I think we can now stop the recording, Nadia.